The crisis rocking the ruling All Progressive Congress APC has shown no sign of abating, as the National Reconciliation Committee set up to resolve the crisis in several states has failed to complete its task, putting the February 27th date for the National Convention in doubt. The committee, led by Senator Abdullahi Adamu, is demanding one more week to attend to pending petitions submitted by aggrieved members. Meanwhile, 7 APC governorship aspirants are awaiting the verdict of the appeal committee on the Ekiti governorship primary contest. So let's start from the National Convention, Jide. From day one, I don't know the magic that this February, I'm so not so optimistic about these dates, but then to fulfill all righteousness, you know the kind of crisis and the number of states that are engulfed in intra-party crisis within the All Progressive Congress. And to solve it, today is the 1st of February. So that means we have 26 more days to the convention. So how viable, how possible would this be so that this party will head towards implosion?
You see, there are different ways by which people are looking at this whole thing. Many of them in the convention committee do not want convention to take place without outstanding issues resolved. They don't want, the last thing that Mai Mala Buni wants to do is, after making the party stronger by bringing in heavyweights, from different states, including states where the APC had not always done well, to then go into the convention with all of the crises still very much at play. So that was the essence of setting up that committee. I would have expected that National Reconciliation Committee would have been set up a long time ago. But his own agenda was simply, let me make this party strong by bringing in all these heavyweights. Once we have these heavyweights, incumbent governors, it will be difficult for us to be defeated in those states. That is the way it's been going about this whole business. Now, we've said repeatedly that you must resolve outstanding issues. Some of those issues date back to 2015.
Deep-rooted.
Before the 2015 election. There's crisis in almost all the states that APC is in control of. But in some states, it's a messy one. Thereby putting the strength of the party and capacity of the party to win future elections in jeopardy. So he has now...
Some situations as hopeless as people are moving into PDP in droves.
Yes.
I can tell you, like River State.
Yes.
It's looking like it's impossible.
No, if the party retains the kind of conduct that it demonstrated before the 2019 election, where you apparently will be seen to be supporting a particular faction, and you are not making concrete steps, taking concrete steps to resolve the outstanding issues, then it means nothing has changed. It means the same scenario that played out that time and led the party to lose the election may happen again. So, but what Mai Mala Buni and his minders want is for those issues to be resolved before the convention. When the PDP says that, look, let them do their convention, let us see what will happen, it's because they know the nature of the crisis. Yes. And now, as far as he's concerned, he does not want to take the party into a convention that will then eventually nullify all of the gains
hard work
that he had made.
Okay.
I can see that is how he's thinking. People may not agree with that, but he doesn't want to be the leader that leads it into a contest that At the end of the day, the party will be worse off.
Even on the convention ground, the party people can
implode. The party can implode. People can walk out. You know, the way it happened. So their own timetable was okay. Let them go and resolve. Let Senator Adamu go and resolve this issue, and then we'll come. They will submit a report to us. After they submit the report, we'll now go ahead and inaugurate state ESCOs in those places. Because up till now, they had congresses, but they've not inaugurated anybody.
Yes.
You are aware?
Yes.
They've not inaugurated anybody. Yes, several months after, since last year. Now, these people have merely submitted an interim report. That means the job has not finished. 47 petitions, you know, the job that they were given, that job has not finished. They need more time. As the man was saying, said the decision is for the that's Senator Adamu. The decision is for the convention committee or the caretaker committee. But the way things stand, their job had not finished, but they just rushed to submit an interim report. I'm not sure it's an interim report that Malabuni and others wanted from them. They felt that, okay, a comprehensive report, so that they will know where the party stands in terms of those conflicts. What do we have on ground? Have those conflicts been sufficiently addressed or resolved, so that we can know whether we can go into the convention in a position of strength? Not that we do convention and that will be where Kasala will burst. So this is the way they are thinking.
It's a very tricky situation.
Yes, but at the same time, people don't want to hear that you want to move convention. They've already announced to INEC that this thing is 26. So if somebody is suggesting that we should give them more time, will they now tell INEC again that, look, this convention can't hold? Or they will simply keep quiet, and then a few days to the convention, they will say, gentlemen, we can't do it on the 20th. So nobody knows.
Look at, let's say we want to have that convention now. Look at, let's say, our neighbors, Ogun State APC, Amosu, the Dapabiodun, Osun State, the incumbent governor, Rauf Aregbesola. Do you understand? And it's taking time to resolve. It's not looking as if there will be a resolution to this thing. Even APC, they are going to have their primaries on the 19th of this February.
The first challenge...
Governorship primaries.
Yeah, the first challenge I saw was the fact that the Buni-led caretaker committee left what the Yorubas will call Ete. I was going after Lapalapa. That is leaving the sovereign soul and going after the ulcer on the head, because they were given 6 months, and their name suggests that your job is to organize a convention. That's your primary assignment. It's when you've done that you can now dabble into areas of conflict. But understand what Mr. Buni is trying to do. He's trying to make sure that he does not have a convention that will implode on his head. But we've postponed these things for almost a year and a half. And
2 years.
This is now the home stretch. And nothing has been achieved as far as reconciliation is concerned.
By July.
So that's where the problem is. Because if they had faced what they were selected to do by the president in the first place, reconciliation would have take care of itself very early in the administration of this party. Because
but you're saying they would have gone into convention that time.
They were given 6 months. Hold on. The plan was wiped clean by the president and gave this committee a carte blanche. Do this for the party, make it party all inclusive, make sure everybody belongs and all that. Fine. And they had 6 months. They could not do it in 6 months. They got another 6 months. That will not be meant they get another 6 months. And all this time, all they were doing was creating more and more roadblocks for themselves. By simply not doing what they were asked to do in the first place. That's why, like Jide said a couple of weeks ago, you cannot keep on going much further because we are running into a brick wall constitutionally. And if an election is held under this arrangement, the danger is far more than the danger of even imploding as a party. So what I think they should do is, whatever they need to do, 1 week will not kill anybody. Let them get the 1 week they require and see what they can do. I personally do not think that the thing is so deep rooted that it will be very difficult what you cannot achieve in 2 years to achieve in 1 week But then we've seen worst thing come to fruition. And I'm sure this thing will find a solution to it.
Some of the party members need to put their egos aside. Some of them are already looking like people bigger than the party, you know. And if the party does not find a way to deal decisively with these elements, they are going to cause the collapse of the party. This is the truth. Some of them think that, look, it is whatever they want that they get in this party. The party must be for everyone who is a card-carrying member. Where some people think that they are bigger than everyone, and all efforts to get them to even accept other people within the party has failed. So they should now look at those people. Nobody is too big to be expelled from the party. If you are the biggest obstacle to peace within a party, you are the cancer destroying the party, what makes sense is to simply relieve you of your position in the party. Let that person go and form his own party where he can willfully misbehave.
It can be the God.
I have Idris is calling us from Abuja. Thank you for joining us, Idris.
Thank you very much. I first of all want to thank you for the kind of contribution, the general discussion you have been holding on behalf of innocent Nigerians, because you are not just doing it for political party, but you are doing it for Nigerian people to know, to get them enlightened about the happenings. And most of your discussions are adding great values to so many people that are unaware about the games going on in the country are getting all the time.
Thank you,
I want to thank you for that.
Thank you,
for
sir.
instance, the party APC was, the merger actually created because of President Muhammadu Buhari, because of the large follower. And we thought that could save the country, especially innocent citizens, you know, in getting them to participate in democratic governance. Unfortunately, after Buhari, the rest of the thing that we are seeing is that they are trying to hold Nigerians to hostage. They don't want to leave the party for Nigerians to be in Nigerian party the way Nigerians wanted to participate. If you see the latest decision that the party is taking, and indeed Buhari himself is taking, particularly the last one, this electoral bill that has just been taken to him, he just gotten Nigerians disappointed. What is wrong in getting to elect?
Thank you for your contribution. Before we got that call, the other face of it is the All Progressive Congress in Ekiti State. I just came back from Ekiti State, and they had the primary. The People's Democratic Party had their own last Wednesday. APC had theirs on Thursday. And as at Thursday morning, 8 out of the 7 aspirants actually came together to address the media and their supporters, saying that they didn't get a level. There wasn't a sense of if there's going to be a level playing field for that exercise. They couldn't boycott the exercise because I think the Electoral Act, the implication ultimately, if they had announced a boycott, to go to courts or to challenge it, but they said they lost confidence. They announced that they lost confidence in that process early in the morning. That's as early as 9 a.m. in the morning. But going to other police stations, they were still having the primaries. What do you make of the Ekiti situation? We had this 4 years ago. Don't forget, this was against like 24 people against Kayode Fayemi, and it was the same scenario, and they had their primaries 2 times, but fortunately they were able to mend defenses before the election.
In this case, I didn't witness the election proper, but I've seen videos, and I hope the producer will be gracious to play some videos that will show to us the turnout and the excitement on the faces of people as they were moving around and casting their ballots on the day. You see, we have to admit to one thing. We are a sitting governor. I've always talked about the excesses of governors.
Let me just pause you a little bit. Let's take this commercial break. Welcome back. It's Journalist Hangout, and we are looking at the intra-party crisis within the fallout of the governorship primaries in Ekiti State. That's last Thursday. Jide?
Yes. I said I've always been against the excessive use of power by governors in our country. Governors have been made too powerful in our country. They literally behave like they own these parties. And political gladiators too have learned to simply pander to the desires of governors so that their own political futures don't get jeopardized. If you look at this race, there was a reason why I said that Biodun Abayomi Oyebanji will win the contest, and I made that prediction twice. No matter how you look at it, he will still have won. I admit that the process can be made more transparent, and where you fail to make the process as transparent as possible, even if you win genuinely, people will complain, and they have the right to complain. But a situation in which all of the councillors in the 177 wards are supporting a particular candidate, all the local government chairmen supporting a candidate.
Wow.
Out of 6 House of Reps members, 5 are supporting a candidate. 1 senator supporting a candidate. House of Assembly members, apart from the person that died, all supporting a candidate. It is the governor who has found a way to get everyone to queue behind his candidate. We've seen it. I gave the example here when Senator Tokunbo Afukuyomi and Ghost contested for the Senate seat. The primaries were held at Agege Women Development Center. The moment it became clear that Afukuyomi was the candidate of Asiwaju, you knew that there was no way Ghost would have won. Even at that time, you queue behind your candidate, and the governor queued behind his candidate. Won't people fall in? This is what we see. The governor of Ekiti, I don't know how he did it, but once he made it clear that this was his candidate, and they could see from his body language, people on their own. Okay, look at this example. Niyi Adebayo, the minister, and Okpeyemi Bamidele, they are from the same hometown of Inyi. Yet, significantly, Niyi supported the governor's candidate against his own brother from Ikogosi, against his own brother from Inyi, and supported someone from Ikogosi. These things that I'm saying, these facts that I'm reeling out, are significant because there is no way councillors, when it comes to mobilizing at grassroots level, they are number one. And if you have an overwhelming majority of them on your side, you will win any election. Why do you think in Lagos, the local government election is extremely important? Because they know that those are the people from the grassroots, those are the people.
They control the voters. Yeah.
How do you win the contest when it's already skewed in favor of the governor and his people? When the people who should even help you to mobilize people at grassroots so that you win, they are already going in one direction. So I don't know some of the things that they did that compromised the process. But one thing that I know is the way, in terms of the way the election went, and I've even read the report of an NGO. I think Wale and the rest of them, NGO, that said, look, this thing was free and fair. What they are complaining about the most is that the people who ran the contest, who organized it, were the governor's people and the supporters of
Bao.
Yes, but in terms of whether people came out or exercised their franchise,
that was crystal clear. When I asked Dr. Kayode, say, I thought you are one of the protagonists or antagonists of indirect primaries. How come at the end of the day Ekiti State is having their primaries and you now say APC Ekiti State, you now opted, or because all the aspirants, they supported the direct primaries? And how come you now told me that if you are on ground, it's easier for you to win with direct primaries? That indirect primaries, it might just be a pay-as-you-go thing. That if you have this structure that Jide has said, it's not something you come 6 months before the election and you say you want to contest. If you have the grassroots structure. Now, I now discovered that some polling units, they didn't have the presence of the agents of these other aspirants. Some did not have at all. Some just had the agent of Bao, and I saw long stretch of line. One thing you cannot controvert is the fact that everywhere you went to, there was this long queue, and they were all shouting, Bao, Bao, Bao.
Yes, I was...
Maybe there was an instruction for the candidate of, for the supporters of other aspirants not to come out. I don't know, but everywhere you go...
No, but they still voted. They still got votes.
And people voted irrespective of whatever they said in the morning. I was passing through Ekiti on my way to Kaba on that very day, and we were worried that things were going to go south. But what we saw was very peaceful, because you have to pass even through Ekiti, as you know, because we are coming from Elisha to go through the road. And then something struck me that, well, fine, maybe the way to the market is not very, it's not done, but ultimately you will get to the market anyway. But I expected the governor, in his wisdom, to have called these people and work on the process. Because like Gide said, what I saw on my way through Ekiti was the fact that there was no sign that there will be trouble. Because you have to park and ask questions. Have you not done election today? Yeah, they said they're in the primary school. And I said, well, I won't fight. They said, no, that everybody is there. That's why everywhere is empty. Everybody who is a member of the party had gone to do their duty. I think that's where the problem lies. Perception is reality. And if you are not very careful, even though you will win, that's why I always use the Ekweme Obasanjo example in 1999 as a test case. When you are doing things like that, it's obvious that A will win. But that party went out of its way to create the illusion that everything is free and fair. They have the figures, they have the numbers. But still with that, they let everybody saw exactly what they are capable of. I thought that's what Governor Ibrahim was going to do. You have the numbers, you have the delegates, you have the direct primaries, people are with you. Why not allow it to be open in such a manner that, because like Gide said, no matter what you do, some people will still complain. No. You cannot get away from that. But what you do is that don't give them the ammunition to now stain you over what obviously is what they are going to do. That to me is the danger that we face.
They were saying that even some of the candidates, that the result sheets had been released overnight, and that some of those results were written and all that. I hope they can.
They have an appeal committee.
They even said that they have even video evidence and all that. Well, if they can present those facts, and the appeal committee finds those facts genuine, maybe a decision can be taken that will favor them. But when you look at the
earlier that day,
when they went to the police commissioner,
senator,
when they went to complain, see, it's pointing at people who came out to endorse the candidates of the governor.
Yes,
and then they were the people who, yes, you know, that is the point that I was trying to. But any election, because we have been covering elections for some time. If you don't have the structure, there's no way you can win an election. And the structures that we are talking about, these councillors, you know, every strata of the party, you need to have your people. And what was Fayose and his candidate?
We'll talk about that. Ike is calling us from Jos. Thank you for joining us, Ike.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
My friend, Jide.
Oh, no.
How you doing?
They're fine, oh.
You just dodge one truth this evening, and the thing will get as it be. You dodge one truth. You know very well that the governors are so powerful because they have the cash. People are hungry. So why do you think that if if Asuwaju comes out and I will not be behind him, or if Rocha comes out, I will not be behind him?
Because they get money.
You hide the truth somehow because you know
it's not money alone. It's not money alone.
It's money.
Let me explain. Let me explain to you while you wait. You see?
All right.
Where Fayose, for example, has not got money. But how was he able to get his candidate to win? To the point that even a sitting governor who does not like him was outfoxed. In that place, they use automatic and statutory delegates. The automatic delegates are ESCOs of the party at ward and local government level and state level. Now, who installed all of those ESCOs in all the 177 wards? It is the same Fayose, and his candidate was the chairman presiding over the affairs of the party in the state. That is what is called structure. In this case now, when I talked about the governor, I said he managed to get people to know that this is candidate, and talking about it is also the governor's people that were running the party at every level in that state. Go and find out. So if the governor installed his people at the councillorship level,
don't forget, it's not a general election. How do you want to
unseat them? Because they are the people who organize the grassroots. They are the people through whom you even send money. You can have money if you don't have the structure to even get the money across to the people who would vote for you. You will not win an election. It's as simple as that.
All right, thank you. Because something happened a day before when Governor Udom Manuel actually presided over the one of PDP. Very transparent exercise. But they were complaining about the list. And he allowed the candidates, for the first time, aspirants, to talk about, because he took charge of the accreditation process.
Okay, oversaw it.
From
registration.
From 8 a.m. in the morning down to the time of voting, and they made sure that nothing was slipped in. And they asked the aspirant at the end of the day, please talk one by one. They gave Shegun the microphone, and he said, I'm okay. Do you have any complaint? He said, I have complaint. Say your complaint. And Udom Manuel said, look, this list, I just got it from Abuja 24 hours ago. It is not my making, it is not my problem. The former professor, the former deputy governor, Eleka said he has a problem with the hall. Udom Manuel said, I didn't build this hall. I did not choose this place. Please, anything that will stop us from this
on this list. That's what I want to know.
So when they won the election, Shegun Oni congratulated the winner.
Yes,
but at the same time, the next day, the same Shegun Oni was saying the system is flawed.
In fact, he said that we are going to work hard to make Kolawole win the election.
He pledged
support. So later on, when I started hearing that, I said, they've talked to this man. This is the nature of our politics. There is no way, given the structure, given that, why do people struggle to control structures? Because they know that with the structures, they are home and dry. With the structures firmly in Fayose's hands.
Yes.
The only way.
That list that came from Abuja.
Yes. Because the party decided that they will not allow for special delegates anymore. Yes. If they had allowed for special delegates,
they cancelled the Congress that was held earlier.
Yeah, when you even cancel that one, that means the old list. The old ESCO will now subsist. You understand?
Okay.
So the statutory delegates, they are not as many as the automatic delegates, because statutory delegates are simply people who have held elective positions or even appointed positions. But ESCO, from ward level, 177 wards, chairman, secretary, all of them. Even local government. Ekiti alone has 14 ESCO members, and they are his people. So he had already dominated the contest before going into it. Alone. When they were saying, that people were showing him this thing, how many people were showing him? In spite of that, Onesti scored more than 300 votes. So that means it's not everybody that showed him.
We see it to this